What's up YouTube, That's here, bringing you the last set of games I have with my Mega Banette team. We're going to be leading off against Zol Reaper, who is using Volcarona, Porygon 2, Gengar, Lantern, Togekiss, and Garchomp. So, pretty good team from there, great offensive and defensive threats. Porygon 2 is always a threat. I know I said it in a previous video that I just don't have the KO potential to deal with Porygon 2. I don't have any knockoffs to get rid of Evilite, so Porygon 2 is always a threat in my mind. With that in mind, we're going to start things off and get right into it. So we're going to be leading off with Sableye Banette. It's one of the best leads this team can do. I've said it a million times. And we're going to see Zol Reaper leading off with Porygon 2. So right off the bat, something I do not want to deal with, as well as this Volcarona. We see the Evilite as well as that Charty Berry. I think that's the berry that cuts rock type moves. So I'm thinking since he doesn't have a Focus Sash, I can probably Gimp him first turn. He reads right into it and he goes for a Protect. He probably just doesn't want to get gimmicked, you know what I mean? This looks like a pretty gimmicky team right off the bat, so Gunk Shot Fake Out not working on this opponent. Too smart for me. He decides to critical hit Thunderbolt my Sableye. I'm just happy I didn't get paralyzed, so we're going to see Volcarona switch out, not wanting to eat that Gunk Shot and get one-shotted. Going into Lantern here. Lantern's a safe switch in here, I would think. Quash is going to fail, and it looks like this guy totally has my number. I go for the Gunk Shot. It actually hits. And I'm surprised that all these videos I haven't poisoned with Gunk Shot yet. That's the one Gunk Shot that I didn't KO that I actually just hit with it. I was like, man, a poison would have been really, really good there. So we see the leftovers on the Lantern. We've seen all his items so far. We see Volcarona switch back in. And I'm just happy to see that Porygon 2 gun because I need a bit more warning for Porygon 2s to come out on the board. And Bandit's going to go for Protect. Sableye's going to go for a cover. Very safe turn for me. I don't really have that much... You know, like, I didn't know what he was going to do either, but I was like, I'm in no hurry to push anything. I know he has leftovers on his Lantern, but I'm pretty much safe going for the defensive turn. I decide to go for Will-O-Wisp onto the Lantern. He Heat Waves back, deals decent damage to both my Pokemon. Volcarona looks like it's pretty heavily invested in the special attack stats, and it actually dodges the Gunk Shot, so that is very bad for me. So I went from feeling pretty safe, very defensive, into losing my Sableye, getting my Banette dropped to half, and I have almost nothing to show for it other than like a burned Lantern. So it's time for Latios to come in, and we're going to see Volcarona go for the Rage Powder, and it doesn't really matter because I double targeted that slot anyways. Yeah, go for the Specs Draco, not picking up the KO, so it looks like it's probably just full HP special attack. That's just what I have to think, because it did so much with the Heat Wave onto my Banette slot that it has to be just full HP special attack. And he retaliates with a Thunder Wave from his Lantern onto my Latios, who's pretty much useless now that it's at -2 anyways, but that just kind of rubs it in. So Porygon 2 is going to come out, and remember, like I said, I have no KO power for this thing. I have like a useless Latios, a Banette, and I have Breloom. Breloom is my biggest answer to that Pokemon, so it's all on Breloom this game. I'm going to go for a Protect here. I don't want to lose my Banette to a nuke. And I actually made a really good play there. I figured he was going to ignore my Latios because it was paralyzed and at -2. So he went for the nuke on my Banette. It was a great Protect there. I guess I could have KO'd the Porygon 2, but I didn't want to risk anything. You know, like if Porygon 2 didn't attack and he just went for like Volt Switch, I'd be in a really bad position because Lantern is faster than Porygon. I decided to open up turn 7 with a Spore onto Porygon. I was thinking of going for like a different play, but I realized I was just faster than everything, and there's nothing you can switch in with that doesn't want to be spored anyways. So Spore is going to incapacitate Porygon for just a little while, and now that Porygon is incapacitated, you can do the secondary strategy my team has to deal with Porygon 2. You know, take out his partner, get him all alone, and just like steamroll the game from there. So we take out the Lantern. We're actually going to hit a Gunk Shot, which does quite a bit of damage, which makes me think that he's probably invested in special defensive stats. And because physical attacks just shouldn't do that much to Porygon 2. Like I've seen, like Swords Dance bullet punches from like a Mega Scizor do like that much damage. So, and Mega Banette is strong, but it's not that strong because normally the stat on Porygon 2 is HP defense. This one's probably like HP specialty. And I know I'm just getting off topic. We actually end up KOing the Porygon 2. Garchomp protected that turn. The critical hit on the second Gunk Shot was not needed. The first one did about that much damage anyways. And, you know, now that it's 3v1, I can pretty much do whatever I want. I decided to go for Destiny Bond. You guys always see me go for these cheeky plays at the end when I feel like I'm really ahead. I always like to protect Destiny Bond and try and get a free kill like that. It's not going to work. We're going to see my opponent go Mega Garchomp. Actually, I shouldn't say it's not going to work, because, like, it is going to work. It's just always going to be a turn late. So he goes for the Rock Slide here. It's going to take out the Banette, and we know how Prankster Destiny Bond works. It's going to be able to take the Garchomp out, and we win the game against Zol Reaper, who's using Porygon 2. Porygon 2 is such a threat for this team. I think I really would like to work a fighting type attack in here somewhere other than, like, Breloom. Like, this is really weird, but if I could have HP fighting on, like, my Zapdos, it would be really cool. It'd be able to chunk T-Tars, and I know I'm going, like, super anti-meta, but I don't know. Actually, Zapdos is just better off Thunderbolting Porygon. Whatever. I just need, like, a Terrakion. If Breloom was like a Terrakion, I'd probably do better, but that was the first game. We're going to get into the last one, and this is, like I said, the last game. I think I've played 20 or 30 battles for you guys over this past week with Sableye, Banette as the lead, and we're not going to go Sableye, Banette this time. See if you guys can guess the lead that I'm going to go against this team of Greninja, Venusaur, Terrakion, Talonflame, Zapdos, and Sableye. Extra points if you guys guess what I'm going to be leading with. Hint, there's a Banette in it. So we're only leading off with Banette. Frisk is too good not to lead with, and Latios. Latios is my go-to when my opponent has a Sableye, which is the first time this has happened after all these games. So we're going to see my opponent have a Sableye. We scout the Citrus. We scout the Sash. Scouting the Sash on the Greninja is actually going to come back really big at the end of the series. So I'm going to Mega Evolve first turn. I get taunted. It's not that big a deal, but I get definitely outplayed hard this turn. I get outplayed so freaking hard. So I opened up Psy-Shocking the Greninja. I know that he's a Psychic type. Or sorry, I'm going to pause it. I'm going to pause it. I know the Greninja's a Dark type. So what I thought was, Greninjas are always faster than Latios. I have a full speed Latios, but who wouldn't run a full speed Greninja? It's best status speed. Like, if you're not running a full speed Greninja, you're not doing it right. I mean, it's like running like an Adamant Terrakion or like an Adamant Garchomp. Like, you could do it, it just, people don't do that, you know? So I figured he would Ice Beam me, not pick up the KO. I would then Psyshock Shadow Claw, pick up a KO right there. Instead, I attacked him first because he's modest. It didn't do anything because his Dark type resists my Psychic attack. And then he attacked my Latios, and then my Shadow Claw did almost nothing because it's resisted by his Dark typing. I also wanted to Psyshock because I figured, looking at his team, Psyshock hits the rest of his team super hard. And I didn't want a Draco. I just didn't want a Draco, and that was pretty much it. So I definitely got outplayed first turn. I got rocked. I decided to come on with Heatran here because I just don't want to let my Latios go down for free. I switch in on a Confuse Ray, which in my opinion means I'm probably just going to switch out next turn. And he goes for a Dark Pulse. It's actually going to leave me at 1% with my Banette while I retaliate with a Gunk Shot. So remember, 1%, that's perfect for Destiny Bonding, but I'm taunted. And there's a Terrakion here, so I have a Confused Heatran and a Banette, and I gotta get out of here. I gotta switch Banette out. Coming in with Latios, kind of deciding to fodder here, because I'm assuming that Terrakion either has a Lumberry or a Scarf, judging by how the Greninja had a Sash. He's continuing to go for Confuse Rays. He thought I would switch too, but luckily I got the Protect off, and he EQs his own Sableye, so pretty lucky turn for me. I avoided the Confuse with Heatran, and I managed to safely switch into Latios, which is really good stuff for me. I decided to switch with Zapdos here in case he wanted to go for another Earthquake. He's going to make the correct play and go for a Protect instead, and just try and layer on the hacks with Confuse Ray. I think Latios is weak enough physically that one Confuse probably wouldn't get the KO, so I still feel okay that I'm confused, but things are getting kind of dire because I'm pretty sure Confuse Ray is going to be coming into my Zapdos this turn while he switches into his own Zapdos. We do have kind of similar teams. We both have Sableye, we both have Zapdos. He decides to go for the Will-O-Wisp instead, and this is Latios' last turn on the board. Well, sorry, next turn is. I actually managed to attack that turn. If I would have hit my Self-Confusion, that would have been Latios' last turn on the board. We do finally pick up the Sableye though with the Life Orb Thunderbolt coming in from the heavens. So we've taken out two of his Pokemon. We're leading 4-2. Terrakion is going to come in. I still think this guy is Scarfed. Or no, sorry, no, I don't. That was a different battle. He's protected already this game, so I'm thinking he has a Lumberry. I decided to go with the Psyshock just to keep him honest, because this is my last turn on the board anyways. He goes with a Hidden Power from his own Zapdos. It's going to be super effective. All the latter Zapdoses carry it for some reason, except for me. I like Tailwind instead. Tailwind is going to come out, and it's pretty much going to secure my victory here. So we remember, scouting turn 1, we scouted that the Greninja had the Focus Sash, which means the Terrakion doesn't have a Focus Sash. So I can go for a Thunderbolt on his Zapdos, picking up the KO with my Life Orb, and my Heatran can then trade with the Terrakion using a super effective Stabbed Flash Cannon to pick up the KO. So that is the game. This is the last game I have for my Mega Banette team, and I had a super fun time playing with it. I know the last 3 or 4 videos I didn't utilize Mega Banette as much as the first few. I started to utilize the secondary threats in like Latios and Zapdos more often, but this team I would still say is a success. I mean, it's probably, I don't want to like toot my own horn, but it's probably one of the most competitive teams with Mega Banette that you are going to see. I know someone has topped with it at a regional. I think it was like the spring regionals, but you just don't see people actively using Mega Banette. And I did make this team to like fight at nationals with, like I said, but it's not going to work out. I might test it at a tournament in SoCal in a couple weeks, another EEX tournament that has like a big cash prize. So I might test it there, just because like I don't want to give away my nationals team to all those players, and this might be a fun way to play with a cool team. So you guys might be able to see some thoughts from that tournament in action. Other than that, I'm going to probably try to switch to another cool Mega for next week's games, so stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for more awesome Pokemon content, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.